Hello, good evening, or good night, or good morning, whatever part of the globe that you are watching this live telecast. It will be short, very short. I hope we can get maybe 15 minutes out of it. I want to say something to the young people. What I mean by young persons is those who are not yet married. Yeah, I teach marriage. I counsel marriages a lot. But this is my first time of using this medium like a video. I've written a lot on marriages. And I've been married for 9 years, going to the 10th year with children. So I think I can help now. Why am I trying to do this? I'm doing this because the beginning of this year in my country, Nigeria, in Abuja, the capital, specifically, there was a report that the rate of divorce was just too high. And then outside Africa, the rate of divorce has been very high too, and all that. So I've been thinking, what is causing all these things? What is causing people love each other, they come together, then before you know, there is a breakup. What is causing it? And now I want to say things quickly that there is no special key to a perfect marriage. Like three keys to a perfect marriage. Some persons practice those three keys and it's not working. There are people who are not aware of keys. There are people who met maybe as boyfriend, girlfriend years ago, and they are thriving. Whereas there are people who are maybe imams or bishops and the pastors. I don't mean to insult anyone, but it's not working. So there is no special key to a perfect relationship or a perfect marriage. There's no special key. There can be 10 keys. Two works for you, five works for me. So there's no special key. Secondly, marriage is not a Christian thing. Yes, marriage is a universal thing, not a Christian thing. Marriage was created long before Christianity started. So marriage is for all mankind, whether Christian or not. By this I mean that successful marriage cannot be defined from Christian terms alone because there are Christians, honest, heaven going, tongue talking, spirit believing Christians with failed marriages. Then there are very, very stark unbelievers, perhaps Muslims, Buddhists, and all that, who are having a good marriage. And because of that, I'm telling you that marriage is not a Christian thing. Forget what you read. It's not a Christian thing. It's a universal thing. Now, I want to tell you because of that, there are successful marriages in the world. There are successful marriages in the church. There are failed marriages even in the midst of the church. There are failed marriages in the midst. Do you know that some arm robbers, native doctors have good marriages too? So there are no special keys for marriage. But after considering a lot of things, and really I've considered a lot, I just come to one point that I think the problem of most marriages should have started from when they started the marriage. In the church, there is something we call counseling. When a man is of age and a woman is of age, and then they maybe love each other, depending on how your church believes. There are some churches that say, if you love a woman, or maybe if you have in mind that a woman is your wife, or maybe, okay, black and white. God spoke to you that she's your wife. There are some churches that say that you shouldn't tell her. You should tell the pastor will help you tell her, or they will pray, they will find out. I think that is where the problem starts, the counseling, as in the beginning of the marriage, the point where the man feels he wants to get married, or the woman feels she wants to get married. Either they have known, or they have not known, or they're trying to know. That origin point is where I think the problem starts. And then, yeah, knowledge is not left to one person, so others can bring their solutions. This is Pastor Jamabo talking. So I can welcome solutions from a doctor, from a lawyer, from a psychologist, from a professor, all of us, just to make marriage work. So I think that one of the ways we can help marriage is from that place called counseling. What is counseling? I think counseling could be a situation where somebody should give a body of knowledge to people who want to get married. I use the word body of knowledge because that body of knowledge should involve spiritual knowledge, mental knowledge, medical knowledge, economical knowledge, and then romantic or sensual knowledge, and many others. So a body of knowledge or advice given to someone or people that want to get married. Now, see where the problem starts. The church, of which I am a pastor to, the church has come in to help marriage. Notice this, to help marriage. But the church is not the only body that can help marriage. The original people to help marriage is the family. Family. Father, mother, uncle, auntie. That's where the thing should have started from. But when the family fails, the church has come in. Now, anything the church gets involved in, they put doctrine. And I think that that doctrine is good and may not be adequate in some places. Because I think that because marriage is for everybody, if the church wants to do counseling, which is like helping, the church should open the counseling arms for everybody. Yes, the counseling should not only be for their church members or their denominational members. You know why? If that thing you want to do with your members is a beautiful thing, open it up to others. Maybe if you think you're saving people, we can save unbelievers too. So, how about seeing a pastor who is good in counseling open his office both to people that are in his church or people that are not in his church at all, too? As in, like, the counseling office becomes open, you can come in. Meanwhile, counseling is a professional job. People learn it in schools. So when people learn counseling, they can have an office and be counseling people. I am saying that marriage counseling to be either redefined or readjusted in one way or the other may solve these marriage problems that are everywhere. Do you know that if you don't have the proper information and guidance for a business, you will fail? The same thing for a marriage. Listen to me. The knowledge that I'm talking about is not the knowledge you think you know. That's why I said that this broadcast will help young people more. Young people. Those who are already married, God bless you. There is something you learn from it. But those who are not married, young people that are at this time maybe browsing in the night, I'm talking to you now, that for you to enter this place called marriage, I think you need counseling. And maybe if the churches have not gotten the idea to open the counseling as I'm suggesting now, you look for who can counsel you. Yes, look for the person will give you advice, body of knowledge that will help you make your decisions. So if the church can help the world, one way to help the world will be for us to open our counseling. Meanwhile, if we have to open our counseling to the world, then we will have to redefine what counseling is. Meaning, counseling will not be a place of doctrine. Marriage is not doctrine. Marriage is universal. Counseling will not be a place of doctrine. It will be a place of issues now, not doctrine, like our church does this. No. A place of issues. If you're going to get married, what are the issues? For instance, I want to bring up some issues now. You that want to get married, listen to the scripture. In the book of Proverbs 18:22, the Bible says, he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor. But I will read another version for you, Message Bible. It says, find a good spouse, find a good life, and even more the favor of God. So find a good spouse, find a good life. So I want to ask now, if I have not been married before, Is it an easy thing for me to find a wife without somebody teaching me? Is a wife something that should just be natural? That is why I say the family should do the counseling first, or the family should be the first people that teach marriage. So, because I should be learning from my father how he wooed my mother. But let's face the fact, how many of us have our fathers and mothers under the same roof to learn from? So, as the church is coming in to help and other organizations are coming in to help, let us drop our doctrines, then counsel people. So the people need to know how to find a wife. Wives need to know how to find a husband, not inside doctrine. I mean, without doctrine, issues of life. Okay, let's look at it. I give a suggestion. My suggestion is this: before you find a wife, you should have found yourself. Do you know yourself? Do you know yourself? Do you know your upbringing? Like, what are you? You are this, that, but because you grew up in this so place, those things began to influence you. So, do you know what you are? Do you know what has influenced you already? So, let's imagine that you have somebody who is nice, but by reason of death of parents, the young man went to live in a family, an uncle's family, where the man is not nice, and then they begin to maltreat him. He has those burdens, those ill treatments, those negative things he has seen around. So even if he was good and had a vision for life, he has now gotten stains, dents that are on him. So, young man, before you want to find a wife, do you know yourself? Young woman, before you want to accept a man, do you know yourself? We are faced with a situation where so many people have not discovered themselves, but they have already moved on a journey to go and find another person. Listen to me. I think, and I may be wrong, but I'm not wrong. I think that the easiest way to find your partner is to find yourself. Because when you know yourself, you will now know who can help you. Yes, that's what it means to find a wife. He that finds a wife found a good thing. So when you know yourself, you can now know who can help you. Most of us grew up in polygamous homes. Is that what you want? That home was your parents' home. You've grown now, you've learned things. So there's a new you that is formed. Have you discovered who you are? Some of us that are, for instance, violent in homes, you learned it. I'm telling you, you learned it. I don't think you were born violent. You learned it. You learned it by things that you went through. So have you discovered yourself? So I think that the first side of a counseling should be trying to find who you are, but because if you find who you are, there is a partner that is suitable for you. I quote Genesis chapter 2. The Bible says, and God said that man could not stay alone any longer. So he made a help, watch, suitable for him. Many of us have used other parameters. The girl is wealthy. The girl is intelligent. The girl is beautiful. She sings in church. We have used different parameters to have gone to meet help that is not suitable for us. And when the help is not suitable for you, I think the problem has started already. There is a time when the beauty will fade. There is a time when the knowledge will not produce the result. So you need to find the one who is suitable for you. So I say this is the basis that a counselor should be doing. A counselor should be giving you these things out now. I'm a counselor. I can help you. There are many good marriage counselors out there. They can also help you. I'm trying to make you understand that you need it. You need it for you to get into. Look at this. You need to understand what is your dream, not your friend's dream, not your neighborhood dream, not there's a champion in your street. Everybody wants to be like him. No, what is your dream? What are you good at? You need to know that side. You need to also know what are your leverages. You don't follow a rich man's son and be expecting life to be that rosy. His father is rich. That is a leverage. Now, even if your father is not rich, if you realize you don't have that leverage, you can leverage on maybe hard work. You can leverage on maybe schooling or something and then try to cover up the gap. So, what are your leverages? If you don't have leverages, it's not a disadvantage, it makes you work. These are the things that a counselor should be putting across to you, at least to find you first. When you are found, it's easy to find that partner. My dear, they are everywhere. I know that there are people that believe that God should speak to them about who should be their wife. I want to ask you a question. Have you heard God talk to you about any other thing in life before? If you've never heard the voice of God before, marriage should not be the first place you hear the voice of God. You will hear nonsense. You should have been hearing God tell you go to evangelism. Did you hear that one? You should have been hearing God tell you give this gift out to a friend. Did you hear that one? If you've never heard God, marriage should not be the first time you hear God. So I'm not discouraging those who can hear God. If you can hear God, fine and good. I grew up in an environment where we were taught that we can hear God. And guess what? The wife I married and I've been happy with for 9 years, I didn't hear anything. In fact, the ones I heard when I was young in church, no one walked. I'm telling you the truth, meaning I heard more than once. I'm not mocking those who hear, but I'm trying to say that there is a better path to finding it. And this is the role of a counselor. What if you heard God say to you, she's your wife, and she did not hear God? So the counselor can pass you through these processes. Let me rush to other things right now. What counseling is not. See, counseling is not a place for judgment. You know why I say this? Because the reason why some churches set up a counseling unit for marriage is to make sure that they catch the youth. All these youths, they used to hide and sleep with one another so that they catch them. If you know your church members are sleeping with one another, you don't need counseling to catch them. Mhm. You don't need counseling to catch them. You don't even need to catch them when they are 3 months away from marriage, because before they came for the counseling, that means they are already set or close to the marriage. Is that when you want to catch them? You didn't catch them since they were 18. So counseling should not be a place for judging people. Yes, if you want to judge them somewhere else. Counseling should not be a place for disciplining people. That is why today in some denominations, people, you see this counseling thing, they even go on a wedding day morning to the girl's house and then give her a bucket or something to urinate. When she urinates, they will now test her if she's pregnant. And if she's pregnant, they will now scatter the wedding or the marriage. Counseling is not for those things. Counseling is to give to the people a body of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, economical knowledge, medical knowledge, preparing them for what is ahead of them. I don't know if this broadcast is helping anybody, but I'm trying to say that the youth in church are now wiser than the counselors, because we have had situations where the urine they brought out is not the girl's own. So please, let's look at counseling again. Let it not be doctrinal, let it be educational. People should trust that person called a counselor. In fact, if the young man is violent, the lady should trust the person counseling her and start talking. Now, the woman, the counselor now, hearing the man is violent, it's not enough to counsel the marriage. It is a time now you now see a fault that will bring problems tomorrow. So you treat it, you teach them. You do your best. God will do the work. You do your best, but it's not a judgment place. So counselors should be trusted. So people should come and confide in the counselor. My dear, let me tell you the truth. Church people have questions. People outside the church too have questions. So if church people have questions, see, there are questions. You know, this telecast is in the night, so I assume that children are asleep. I want to talk. There are questions. People want to ask, can he satisfy me? Oh, I'm in my element now. Let me talk. People want to ask, can she? Can she? People want to know. See, forget you can cook. Can you cook the other side? People want to find out things. When the chips are down, will she stay? Will he stay? What is so? If the counselors are righteous people that are looking for our faults to pin us, nobody will tell us the things. Let me tell you the truth, my dear counselors. Can you counsel your child? When it gets to your child, there is a way you talk in the house. You tell the child the many things that can make the child scale through the many problems. But when it comes to the counseling, you now stand as a deacon or as a deaconess. You want to do the right thing. The right thing is not that thing you're doing. You're judging people. So let the church change their approach about counseling. And let the counselor be mothers and fathers that people can trust. Meanwhile, I told you counseling is a professional thing. So if the church cannot produce results by counseling, the people in the church will leave. They will look for professional counselors outside to counsel them. Have you not seen people who are very vibrant in church? Youth. But before marriage, they got pregnant. The girl is pregnant, and you say, so does it mean this girl was doing this? Yes, she was doing it. That's what it means. And others are doing, but they've not been caught. So what I'm saying is that there is a tender way to handle youth that have passed this age. Their whole body system is telling them get to the other side. So I don't know, you may not like what I'm saying, but counseling can help. Proper counseling can help, not judgmental things. Now, I always say that one video cannot cover everything. The counselor should be neutral and able to gain trust so that people should be happy to see a counselor. Listen to me. Counseling should not be aimed at catching defaulters, but it should be aimed at building commitment. What will you do if you find out from the girl or the boy you're counseling that my partner is like cheating? Yes, the first thing is going to be cut off. It won't work. That means if the man who was cheating, for instance, successfully hides his cheating, then he gets into marriage and begins to cheat, will you cut off the marriage that time? So counseling should not be for fault finding. Counseling should be for fault curing. Fault curing. People should be open to the counselors. Marriage is long. This thing is long. It is long. I got married at 33. If I'm alive till 100, I will still be married to one woman. I should be prepared enough for this. She cannot be an angel throughout. The day she becomes the other thing, I should have been trained on how to handle it. So the counseling period should be the period not to discourage people that want to get married, but instead to drill them, to prepare them for the marriage. Hear me? If 9 couples come to the altar of counseling, the 9 should get married. We should teach them enough until when you find out that you're teaching them brought a certain wisdom in them that made them understand that this person I'm following is not really a partner suitable for me, but is a partner I followed after my lust. Then they will break it themselves, not by your recommendation. I think that if we refocus on proper marriage counseling, we will get the marriages started rightly. See, many people leave the church during marriage, marry, and then come back. That time you cannot judge them. You see them as 2 members that have just been added to your church, so you're happy. In the churches that we grew up, some of the people who married outside Christianity, their marriages were also interesting. Successful marriage does not mean Christian marriage. Pastors fight. Yes, pastors fight. So a successful marriage should start from proper counseling. If you think I am maybe attacking some persons, no. I've thought about this thing, and this I think is one of the solutions. Another person may have a solution. Let that person add his own too. That successful marriages, better marriages, will start from a proper counseling. Let me ask you a question. Young girl, you want to get married. The man you like is from where? You like him. You know his bank account. Do you know the road to his village? The church under doctrine is restricted. They won't tell you to go to his village. It's not true. It's not correct. Go to that village. You know why? When the problems come, he will not attack you from church. He will attack you from that village. God forbid. Find out things. Know yourself enough to know him. You will one day be a daughter-in-law to a certain woman. Have you seen her? Do you know her? Do you know what is happening there? Your son has brought a beautiful girl. All we are thinking is that the girl is beautiful. She's intelligent. Have we found out the health side? The health side. There are many issues to be counseled, not finding out if the people are fornicating. This is where I'm going to. Many issues to be counseled, not to find out if the people are messing up. Many issues. So many issues. So can we bring out our counseling registers back? Can the church open counseling to the street? If there's a church in Woji Estate, for instance, the church should be open enough to say, all the people in Woji Estate, whether you are members or not, you want to marry, come and have this knowledge. Why? So that your marriage will be good. I don't think what I've said is just that perfect. There will be mistakes inside of it. And you find out that I'm not even quoting the scriptures, because marriage, like I told you, is not a Christian thing. I don't know how the Muslims manage to, one man marry 4 wives and they are not fighting. I don't know how they manage it. But in the South, the Christian woman, even somebody's looking at the man. It has not happened though. It just looking at the man, the fight has started. Who counseled these Muslims to just endure this thing? And who counseled the Christians not to be able to? I'm not saying that problem should come, but whether I say it or not, it will come. So that's where I'm going, counseling. So our parents should be counseling us and teaching us. And where they fail, or even if they do it well, the church should come in as a proper counseling unit. Young people, as you attend seminars for marriage, ask them to counsel you. Let them not just tell you 5 keys. Let them counsel you. What will you do if after marriage, 3 years after marriage, God forbid, honestly, God forbid, your partner becomes sick, bedridden for 7 years? What will you do? What will you do if your partner loses job, loses business, and then everybody around is going to be saying, this one will marry in a bad luck, or this one she marry in a bad luck? What will you do? This is counseling. This is training. This is teaching. So counseling can last 3 months. Counseling can last 6 months. In fact, youth should be counseled from youth fellowships. Start counseling these young boys and young girls. A successful marriage does not end in the bedroom. A successful marriage gets to neighbors, gets to children, gets to friends, gets to everywhere. So I bring it to you that we should reconsider counseling. This is how far we can go for today's teaching. We did one earlier in the day. This is how far we can go for today's teaching. So I am asking you to reconsider and then subject yourself to counseling. As long as you're not married, you need knowledge. Even you have enough knowledge, okay, you don't need knowledge again, share knowledge. But everyone needs proper counseling to form a good foundation so that will prevent havoc that leads to divorce in marriages. This is Pastor Jamabo telling you, thank you for listening to this, and God bless you.